So, John and John, obviously, I'm sure you consider yourselves not just providers of capital, but providers of value as well. It's been interesting. You have companies like Digital Sky Technologies and Yuri Milner, whom I've met, a really nice guy, a smart guy, obviously made some great investments. They're kind of accused of being a giant bank account and not really giving that kind of advice and value add other than the money. How do you add value to companies that you invest in?
Sure. I'll start. No, I congratulate George for the success that he had. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to venture capital or not venture capital. I think you would only take venture capital if you believe that the venture capitalist group that you're working with can improve your probability of success and accelerate it. And so the way that venture capital firms, when done well, do it is to really view themselves not so much as a finance shop, but as a service organization. And the services are contoured to every specific company. It's not one size fits all. And so one company may need customer introductions. They may not have the reach that George has, and venture capital firms who have been in that industry for a while hopefully have a set of connections that can help accelerate revenue for a company. Maybe they need a creative source of financing. Maybe they need a different product concept. Maybe they need to refresh their board. There are an infinite number of ways that an investor, be it an angel or a venture capital firm, can make a real difference and really change the trajectory for a company. But an entrepreneur has to believe that and become convinced that that venture capital firm in fact can do it.
And to endorse that point, we've done several liquidity events in our company where private equity has invested, but they gave us $100 million on March 31st. April 1st, they went out the back door to all of our shareholders who are beneficiaries of that. But I would agree with John that the contribution that the private equity board members on our board have given is significant. Great guidance. And when we go eventually to a full monetization of our companies, you're going to need those folks on your board to do the deal.
John O'Farrell?
Who would work for an investment firm and say they're dumb money, right? That's not a very good opening line. Everybody thinks they're smart money, but honestly, money is just money. And so the question is, what else can you do besides money as a firm? And our experience as entrepreneurs founding and building companies and raising money from venture firms, and by the way, that was one of the criteria for being a general partner at our firm. We have 4 general partners. Was you couldn't come from an investing background. You had to have done this yourself. You had to have founded companies, built companies, raised money, gone through hard times as well as good times. Because we always felt that when you were raising venture money, you were pitched the firm, but you got the partner. You got an individual. And that individual sits on your board. And if they're a great venture capitalist, a very experienced person, like George was talking about, or John was talking about, they can contribute a lot of value. But they're one person, and they don't have a limited amount of time. They're probably on 9 or 10 other boards, many of them. And they may or may not be a great fit with what you need at a particular time. Once you've got the money, usually the next thing you need is people. You run out of your own network pretty quickly when you build a company. You've got to find great people. Technical talent, sales talent, executive talent. The woman that was maybe doing the books for you may not cut it as CFO. You may not want to hire another great woman to be CFO, or man. And so we felt that it was a bit of a constrained model to have maybe 20 general partners in a venture firm and maybe 5 support staff, typically good-looking administrative assistants and not much else. And so we felt, there's a lot of fees coming in from a venture fund. If you raise, $1 billion, you're taking a 2.5% management fee on that a year. That's a lot of money. That's $25 million a year coming into your firm. Many firms will use that to pay great salaries to their general partners, which is great if you can get away with it. Our view was, take that money, where general partners are not going to work for free, they'll still be paid. You can take that money and build great functions for the firm that really provide value to the entrepreneur. So we put half a dozen people. We've 26 people in the firm, of which 4 are general partners. The others, we've half a dozen people who just find engineering talent, full-time technical talent, engineers, web designers, UI designers, product managers, and so on, building a network of thousands of people all screened. We can point those towards our companies. Some of them are a great fit. Same with executive talent. We do the same there. We do the same with PR or business development or enterprise sales. How do you build an enterprise sales force for a software company and so on? So I think the new model of venture investing is very much money plus smart, experienced general partners plus a lot of other functions of the firm that are done really professionally by people who do that for a living and who aren't professional investors who happen to have a great network and a lot of opinions on how you should run your business. So again, not to knock the existing firms. There are great firms, including Kleiner Perkins, really great firms that we've learned a lot from. But we do think there's a chance to do some things differently and in a way that really benefits the entrepreneur and not just the investors. So time will tell whether it works.